Why hello there, how are you today? Awesome Soul here, and I am here to bring you something that I kind of touched on in either the last video or the video before that, I can't quite remember. So when I was going through and talking about the whole side-mounted legs, I brought up the fact that this would be definitely on my top 10 list. But what exactly is my top 10 list? So I figured this would make for an interesting video, even though nobody really asked for it. So here you go, the video that literally nobody asked for, but hopefully you'll somehow enjoy anyways. I mean, top 10 lists are like the most watched content on YouTube. So yeah, come on, give me those views. Anyways, now obviously, like all top 10 videos, these are just my opinions. So if you think something should be higher on the list or shouldn't even be on the list at all, I don't know, it's just my opinion, man. But of course, you can always leave your list down below. Anyways, without further ado, let's jump into the list. And fittingly, we should start at number 10. And that of course is more mega parts, or other mega parts, or whatever you want to call it there. So, the way I see it is we kind of have been getting mega parts, but kind of not. Some could argue that the Chain Shredder and Ion and things like that are kind of mega parts, but not really. Because the way that I think of a mega part is, you know, you've got your regular small ones, and then you've got the big mega upgraded version. For those that don't know what megabots were, they were a huge, massive bot that you could make with a lot of CPU, as opposed to the smaller cap you have now. But they had limitations. These could only equip mega parts. So you had your mega laser, and your mega plasma, and your mega hovers, and your mega wheels, and your mega mech legs. And that was really it. And then after that, Megabots kind of got scrapped. There has been a tiny glimmer of interest from Free Jam to possibly bring them back, but I'm not holding my breath. But yes, anyways, what I want to see is mega versions of the different sort of tiered parts we have already. So this mainly for me includes the Rail and the Nano. Other than that, I guess we could add more, but I think those are really the only two that would definitely fit having a mega variant to them. And the reason I want a mega variant is because I like rails and I like nanos, but I also like having the large weapon varieties, the way you can mount those on, almost like side arms. Like, you know, your Piranha, you've got these two beefy arms and you're a super fast hover going around and just kind of ion punching almost. So if we had some sort of rail that only had like a cap of 2, so you'd only need 2 for max rate, you could go around with big, huge, beefy rail arms and sort of fire that way. That would be really awesome. Likewise, the nanos, you could have a super crazy different nano, maybe like a longer range beam, but not quite as efficient at healing. So you could heal targets really far away, or I don't know, something like that. They could do a lot of interesting things with mega parts. Sort of on the same topic here, number 9, more variants of existing movement parts. Now what do I mean by that? Well, we have the mech legs, and we have the sprinter legs, which are similar but different. They're both mech legs, but one is a bit beefier and slower, and the other one is faster, but less armored. They have a few other differences here and there, but for the most part, they're clearly both mech legs. So what I would like to see is somewhere down the road adding like a different hover, for example. So you've got your regular basic hover, and then you've got this other special hover, which maybe could fly a whole lot higher, so you could peek over obstacles, something like that. But obviously the downside there is, if you're not careful, you could be hit by flak because you're hovering so high. And in the last video, a lot of people have been responding to the wheel rework by saying things like, oh, can we get different types of wheels, like a drag racing wheel, or a super grip wheel, or something like that. So just lots and lots of different parts for more building variety. So not every cruiser is the same, not every mech is the same, not every hovercraft is the same. Number 8 is the spotting and radar rework. Now this is something I covered in the last video, so I won't go into too much detail here, but I will just sort of quickly cover over it. Basically, spotting is a whole lot better than the radar system. And why would you spend money on a radar when you could spend money on another laser or another plasma? Because they're fairly similar in CPU cost. So instead of getting a radar, all you do is just slap on that extra weapon and press Q to spot people, and that's very, very similar to the radar. So what needs to happen is the radar needs to play into spotting. They don't need to be separate things. So if you have a radar, then maybe you could spot longer, and a jammer would keep you spotted for less time. Of course, this is on top of their already existing perks that are in the game currently. Number 7, buff the, quote, bad movement parts. Yes, I just literally wrote out buff the bad movement parts. I think you know which ones I'm talking about. Mainly the wheels, and kind of the wings, and rudders, and then of course the insect legs, which unfortunately do not seem to be getting addressed by FreeJam. I guess they think they're okay, or maybe they're not really that high of a priority. They're going to be focusing on those later down the line, because if you've been keeping up with the Robocraft news that I've been covering on the channel, wheels are getting a buff, plain wings are getting a buff, but sadly, no news on the insect legs. So I guess I will cover the insect legs because I've talked about the other two in the last video. What exactly do they need? Well, what really needed to happen, honestly, back when the CPU limit was increased and tank tracks were actually buffed in their CPU, as well as rotor blades. They were both buffed in CPU and therefore buffed in health. So you could hit this one particular target, but it would have a lot more health, so it couldn't be taken out as easily in a single shot. Unfortunately, the insect legs didn't really get a whole lot of love when that happened, and they're still really, really big targets with a very low CPU cost, and therefore very low armor. Wheels, for example. Wheels, while not very good, of course they're being addressed, but they are very low CPU cost, about half of the insect legs, but they are a much smaller target. Definitely a lot more than half. I'd say only about a quarter of the size, and therefore they are a lot harder to hit. Not only that, they're easy to protect with cubes. Insect legs, on the other hand, do not have that luxury. They need to stick out from your bot very far, and if you try and armor around them, it just makes your bot look incredibly weird. So what they need to have done to them is a health and or CPU buff. Possibly a movement speed buff, although it's not really that important because you can equip other things and they pretty much work with most other movement parts. So they are viable in that regard. But when it comes to everything else, no. They need some help. A lot of help, actually. Number 6, the electroplate rework. Now, as I'm sure you are aware if you've been tinkering around with electroplates, you'll know that they are pretty good when it comes to blocking rail shots due to the nature of just how rails work. Unfortunately, though, they are horrible at blocking pretty much everything else. So, other than that very niche thing, and even at that niche, when it comes to rails, of course, they're not fantastic. You're usually better off opting for armor. Mainly because if you want to recharge, it's going to take 10 seconds if you use cubes. Unfortunately, though, electroplates still have a separate recharge from your actual health recharge. And not only that, something that is a little bit annoying, when you're a medic trying to heal a bot with mech legs, obviously the shields account for your total health, or at least the total health bar. So you're going to keep trying to heal this person, but they're already at full health, quote unquote, but the remainder of their health bar is actually the electroplate. So even a quick fix would show like this percentage of your health is electroplate. I don't know how they could do that. But what really needs to happen is some sort of like overdrive feature they have talked about. So if you spend your energy, like you can toggle this on or off, and then it would sort of make the electroplates a lot more powerful. And then when it's off, they're sort of normal strength, I guess. So in the heat of battle, you kind of have to pick and choose. Do you want to be a damage dealer, or do you want to sort of be a distraction for your team, and maybe they could hide behind you if you buff up your electroplates? I don't know. I don't have all the answers for the electroplate rework, but if you do, post them down below, I guess. I'm not entirely sure what the best way to go about that is. And I'm sure FreeJam are probably struggling with that as well, because we haven't heard a peep from them when it comes to the whole electroplates. Next up, number 5. We're getting to the halfway point here. Nanos, as you know, lost their left click. which in the big scheme of things I think was actually the right choice, because it definitely nerfed at least part of the problem that was drone platoons. So no longer can you fly around and just hold down your left mouse button and automatically heal up everyone around you while you're flying around at 300 miles per hour. It was pretty ridiculous. But when they were removed, I'm sure at least a few of you remember, they actually put out a call saying, what exactly would you like to see as the new left click feature? And of course, we haven't heard anything back. But what I actually did suggest that day is a health pack drop feature. And they are pretty much exactly what they sound like. Press left click, look at a spot close to you. Of course, this would have to have a fairly close range to keep it a bit more balanced. And you would simply drop down a bundle of nanobots, sort of like a little cloud there. And obviously it would have your team color, so if an enemy drove over your health pack, or maybe shot at it, for example, it would destroy the health pack. Now, healing this way would be less efficient than healing with your beam. However, the perk to this is you can leave your health packs at a position and then use your teammates to defend that position. So hide your health packs around the corner, alert your teammates to where your health packs are. If they're getting low, drive around the corner, grab a health pack, come back out, and you would be good to go. Of course, you would need, I don't know, probably 8 health packs, 5 health packs, somewhere around that range if you want to get fully healed when you're on the brink of death. Like I said, this is less efficient power-wise when it comes to healing. It's just another way where medics could be a bit more useful than they currently are. The auto-healing kind of took a bit of the wind out of their sails when it came to dedicated medics. They're still useful, but I think this health pack drop system would definitely bring their numbers back into the game, as far as dedicated medics go. Number 4, different mounting point options for all movement parts. I know I've just been pushing the sprinter leg side mounts, but of course, along with those, I would like other things to have different mounting options. As stated in Noob in a Box's video that I did link in the video that I'm referring to, he talks about things like upward mounted insect legs, so not like the mounting point is not on the side anymore, it's mounted straight up. Of course, mech legs on the side, hovers with a different mounting point, or you've got your wheels with a top mount, so you can make like a little drifty cart type thing, or maybe a motorcycle if you wanted to, or hell, a tricycle while we're at it, sure, why not? So yeah, any movement part that has a lot of mounting points, at least any movement part that would make sense to have this, could have like a button where you press and you would get different mounting options. This would lead to even more variety in build types. Number 3, expanded clan features. Right now they are very bare bones. We still have the cap of 50 people. And I know big clans like Atlas Corps have had to split off into 2 separate clans just to actually get all of their members into a clan, even though it's not really the same clan. Other things would be custom ranks, and obviously give those custom ranks different colors, or maybe like a little badge, like a star, or something like that. Of course, with those ranks, you would need more features for them to be worthwhile. If you get to the next rank and you don't have anything to attach to that rank, like say, send out private messages to everyone in the clan, for example, it'd be kind of pointless to make a whole bunch of new ranks. I know that was fairly general, but just more clan features overall is definitely something we need. Now, we come to the second to last one, and that is the ability to copy your own robot. This is something that people have wanted since the CRF came out. It's exactly what it sounds like. So, you press a button, you copy your bot, automatically it would open up a new garage bay and then paste your bot right there for you. So what you can do with this, for example, I have my bot, the Tempest. It's got mega lasers on the side. But what you could do is take off the mega lasers and put Mega Plasma on. Unfortunately, right now, if you want to change that, you would have to go into your garage bay, open it up, take the mega lasers off, put the Mega Plasma on, and then exit out, and then go into a new match. But with the copy feature, you could just have a Mega Plasma variant ready to go. So you simply switch garages and go right back into your next match. Fairly simple, very straightforward. All you need to do is just use the existing tech that you have for your CRF and use that in the copying robot. When you press copy, it will bring up a list of these are the parts you need. If you don't have these parts, press here to buy them, and then once you've bought them, press enter, and then you copy your bot. It's as simple as that. Hopefully, we will actually get something like that in the game at some point. And number 1 is custom games. Yes, custom games, well, and maybe a reconnect feature as well, but that's a little bonus aside there. Custom games, as you are aware, are actually coming soon. How soon? Well, we don't know. But for those of you who have played very community-oriented games, like Halo 3, or I guess really any of the Halo custom games back in the day, or Gary's Mod, for example, you know the power of the ability to edit any game mode and tweak it to your liking. Hopefully the features here are very expansive, or at least will become expansive in the near future. Something along the lines of Overwatch's custom games, where you can tweak and say, I want rails to be super powerful, but I want plasma to have a very, very slow fire rate, and then I want lasers to have a crazy fire rate but deal barely any damage. So, like, the ability to tweak stuff like that is very, very important when it comes to creating your own custom community game modes. I'm sure as the game progresses, we will get more and more features added to custom games, or at least that's my hope anyways. So, there we have the list. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Of course, like I said in the beginning, leave your own personal list down in the comment section down below. That, of course, is everything I would like to talk about in this video. I, of course, have been the Awesome Soul. I thank you so very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care.